you spend a good deal of time in the book on this, what you call the travel sports trap. And it's symbolic of a much bigger mindset that you have to invest this professional level energy and time and money into your children's recreation, or you're not a good parent, to the point that recreation becomes almost like a kiddie career for them. And this was something that my parents thankfully resisted very strongly. They were much more like kind of free range and everything. But travel sports, like, that strikes a lot of people as odd. To be a soccer mom is discouraging families and creating a family unfriendly culture. What's up with that?
Yeah, so I mean, I could have written a whole book on this, and maybe I will, because there are some people who they read the first chapter and they're saying, I was hoping all 14 chapters were going to be on travel sports. So if you, I mean, I could tell the story of kind of how the problem happened, and like almost like a myth of what I assume slowly happened into our culture, which was, all right, you got these kids, little leaguers. Some of them are really good. You try to coach them well. You got to play to win. Like, if you're at 12 years old and you're saying it doesn't matter who wins or loses, just have a good time, then the boys stop trying. So you got to play to win. And some kids are going to be really good and they're going to get a scholarship. And then you find, oh, wait a second, that's actually a really valuable thing. And then also the kids who grow up trying to win, sort of, if it's not driven home specifically to the adults and then trickle down to the kids. The point of this is having fun, building character, getting exercise, and making friends. So you don't say that like right before the first pitch, but you say that at the beginning of the season, you say that at the middle of the season, you say it at the end of the season. And if then they get confused and they think the point really is just winning, and the point of youth sports really is just scholarships. So then why not specialize? Pick your one best sport at age 12, drop the others. No more frivolous things like going fishing on a Saturday afternoon, or going for hikes with your family, or sitting around and reading a book. So you got to be doing the sports all the time. You got to specialize. And we're going to hire coaches who are going to be professionals at coaching you. And we're going to play against all around the country. And then there's this word I just heard when my son was playing middle school baseball, which was showcases. We're going to put your sons in showcases. I thought, I don't want to put my sons in show. Like, that's how we got like a parrot when, a pet turtle they were in a showcase. I don't want to put my son in it. No, we needed to expose your son to the scouts and do this. And then you realize that they've completely lost the point. There's too much at stake in youth sports. So then what are the harms of this? And there are upsides. Kids trying really hard to get good at something, seeing hard work pay off, seeing how good other athletes could be. All that is impressive. But it disrupts family culture if you're going to Delaware every other weekend for a field hockey tournament. I remember talking to this one woman who was like, oh yeah, my husband and my son, they had such a great time on football, but it was actually kind of sad for my daughters and me, because it was the four of us women home every weekend, and dad and son were out, and it was like two different families. I actually talked to one attorney who says he's seen a lot of travel sports divorces precisely because of this. Like, however bonding and positive it is for, mom and daughter to go to this field hockey tournament, if husband and wife are separated, it's bad. If there's a kid who's just not a good athlete, you just spend a lot less money and a lot less time on him. So there's all that disruption to family culture. It erodes community. The idea of a little league was built around all the kids in the town who want to play baseball together. So I remember the rivalries of playing against your next door neighbor, either your best friend or the kid you kind of didn't like, or exactly this kid just simply cannot hit a curveball, and so you throw him a curveball every time, and then one day he hits it and he talks about it at your 20th reunion. Those were community building things, and the coaches were dads who were volunteering, which is good for the dads. I have benefited so much. I love it when I get to coach first base. It's one of my favorite things. You get to know the neighbors better that way. You don't get to know the neighbors if you're driving 3 states away every weekend for a tournament.
Yeah. Well, there's this parental attitude that goes into it too, and you kind of speculate in the book that there's some living vicariously through your kids going on here too, where it's It's like, I didn't get to realize my dream of being a Major League Baseball player. Well, maybe my kid can do that, or maybe at least he can be good enough he can write a scholarship into, some top school. That's where you invest all your dreams and your hopes and your aspirations into your kid in a way that at some point you lose sight of your kid, and you start actually dominating their lives and turning them into something that you want them to be. That's not good.
And so chapter 1 of the book is titled "Have Lower Ambitions for Your Children."
Ooh, provocative.
But I admit that that's kind of a joke. What I mean is lower worldly ambitions for your kids. And that it's like a mistake to think your kids are valuable because they accomplish something. Like, we do that. We gush a little. If they do something, you imagine your kid goes up and plays a violin solo and it's great. Like, it makes you cry. It makes you happy. You might hug them a little harder. But if at the end of the day you examine your conscience and you think, okay, no, I love my child no matter what, because my child is made in the image of God, and because this is what I'm called on to do, this is lay down my life for another person. And I think the achievement obsessed culture behind this, travel team, music, all of that specialization happens because in our modern world, we sometimes forget that humans have innate value. Innate meaning it's there no matter what they do. Right. And that I said it's a joke because my ambitions for my kids is for them to be saints. But when it comes to baseball, one day my middle son came up to me and his big brother and said, "So look, in gym, in football, they don't throw me the ball because in 3rd grade I dropped it every time. Now I'm a little better, but I want to be at the point where I can just catch a ball that's thrown to me if I'm open." And so we worked on it over the summer. But what did work on it mean? It meant having a catch. And then sure enough, opening day, new kids quarterbacking. Somebody leaves Brendan wide open. He catches a pass, runs in for a touchdown. That is the height of my sports dreams for my boys right there. He already hit that peak. And so my worldly ambitions are lower. But too high worldly ambitions, I think, conflict with sort of proper values and proper understanding of what human beings are, what your children are.